Hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so excited today to be sharing with you about the topic of choosing a career. So that is a question that we all ask ourselves at one point in time in our lives. You get to that point where you're confused, or you're just wondering what the future has ahead for you. And at that point, you start thinking about whether you're in the right career, whether you're making the right choices, whether you're in the perfect major if you're a college student, and if you're choosing a high school student who is about to graduate, you're also thinking about what you want to do. And of course, there is that famous question: what would you like to be, or what would you like to do when you grow up? That's one of my favorite questions to always ask anyone that I meet, especially young people, because that question has a lot of power to it. If you're able to answer that question in 30 seconds, you probably know exactly what you want to do. And sometimes even that question would help you think deeper about what you want to be. I know if you're sitting right here in front of me and I asked you that, you probably would say something like, oh, a doctor or engineer, a graphics designer, something. You'll probably say something, but the reality is sometimes in life that doesn't necessarily happen that way. I remember as a young person, if they asked me what I want to be, not even young person, for a very long time, I would always say I want to be the first president of Nigeria, first female president of Nigeria. And that's what I used to say when I grow up. I want to do that. And now that I'm here, I'm in this phase of my life, or in this season of my life, if you ask me that question, I would definitely say no, that's not what I want to do. So you're probably wondering, what has this got to do with you choosing a day-to-day career, or not necessarily being a president, or doing something that's huge, if you're going to put it that way. So the first place I would say to start, if you're asking yourself that very question now, is to take a journal, take a note, sit down with me. We're having a conversation. Just imagine that I'm right here in your living room or wherever you are, and we're just having this conversation. And the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what do you love to do? This question is very, very important because it would help you kind of niche down to what you're really passionate about. What do you enjoy doing? What are you passionate about? If I woke you up in the middle of the night, what is that one thing that what, this is something I love doing, I'm passionate about it? Is it cooking? Is it painting? Is it drawing? Is it coding? You need to find something that you're absolutely in love with. Don't even look at all the career path that is out there. Don't look at the job industry, none of that stuff. Just kind of focus in, think about it, and say, hey, what am I passionate about? What am I able to do 24/7 that doesn't feel like a job? Now, if you've answered that question and you've written it down, the next thing I want you to ask yourself is this question: who does it impact? How would this thing that I'm passionate about change the world? How would it bring a solution to problems? And I want you to think about that critically and begin to write it down. How do you feel that the thing that you're passionate about can change the world? For example, if it's graphics design, do you feel like your drawings or your designs can help a company? If that is correct, yes, then you know that yes, you can do that. So now that you are there, you answer that question of how my passion can change the world. I want you to do something that is very, very important, and this is, I want you to write this down. There's so many things, there's so many personality tests out there, and if you've been to one of my classes, I usually ask my students to take a personality test, and we kind of talk about it deep down, kind of breaking down how that relates to their career. So now that I don't have you in my classroom, but I have you here watching this video, I want you to go ahead, look on Pinterest, look on Google, find your personality test and do the assessment. Why am I asking you to do this assessment? This will give you an idea of the kind of person you are. Now, if you are a person who is in love with a lot of things, like, you know, the personality will kind of give you an idea of what you're passionate about and what you can do. So I want you to go ahead and take the assessment, and if you need someone to talk you through what each of those mean, I am happy to do that. So if you email me at info@dreammentorship.org, I would definitely provide some insight into what all of that means. If you've already taken the personality test in the past and you know your type, great, that is awesome, that is amazing. Now, what I want you to do is to take that with you and look at the things that you're currently doing and see if they align with your personality. For example, if you're an extrovert and you like being around people, you're energized by the presence or community of people, it'll be hard for you to work without having people around you. So you might like field work, you might not necessarily love an office job if it doesn't involve having people around you, because those, you build off people's energy. So that might be something for you to think about. So if you're in an environment or in a job or in a major that is kind of restricting you to things that are not related to who you are as a person when nobody is watching, that might be a red flag. That might be something you need to go back and recheck and do another assessment of yourself to say, hey, what am I really passionate about? If you are there and you feel like, okay, now I've done this personality test, I've done all of this things, I've looked at careers and all of that, the next thing I would love for you to do is to do what we call informational interview. So this is basically looking for someone in your industry or who is doing exactly what you want to do or you envision yourself being. It can be a celebrity and it can be someone local in your community. Preferably locals in your community are probably going to be better accessibility is better for you to access. So I would recommend you meeting with, you know, scheduling either a phone interview and say, hey, this is Mac Jane, I'm really passionate about being a surgeon. Is it okay if I ask you some questions about what life is for you as a surgeon? Yeah, you might get some no's, but how about you get that one person who is excited to share what they do about their life? And to be honest with you, people love talking about themselves. So I believe you'll be able to find someone who is kind enough to say, hey, that is absolutely okay. And now that we're all working remotely, guess what? You can even have a Zoom interview with the person just to ask them what their daily life is. I've done that in the past. I've always thought, you know what, I want to be a grant writer. And then I had I was in a position where I had to interview someone who was a grant developer for a foundation. After my conversation with them, I realized that absolutely that wasn't what I wanted to do. I did not want to spend the rest of my life looking through grants and writing grants. So I knew from that point in time that no, that's not what I want to do. So it is important for you to talk with someone. Sometimes we have this great idea in our head and we imagine that, you know, this is going to be my life. I'm going to go to school for it. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to get a great job. And yes, my life will be set. And then when you talk with someone who actually does what you're thinking of doing, you realize that, you know what, this is not what I want to do with my life. So it's so important that you find someone in similar career path and just talk to them. You know, nothing too serious, just kind of take notes and see what their daily life is like and see if that's what you see yourself doing. And if you envision yourself, if you envision a future for yourself like that. So those are the things that I want you to consider doing. And if you've done all of that and you still have more questions about your future, about your career, what you should do and what not to do, I am absolutely happy to help. So why don't you send me an email at info@dreammentorship.org, and I would absolutely love to hear from you. And of course, if you comment and ask your question below in the comment section, I would absolutely reply and respond to your question. And if you're new here and you've never heard about me, my name is Mac Jane Creighton. I am the founder of Dream Mentorship, a nonprofit organization that provides free professional development courses and personal enrichment programs to young women in North America and Sub-Saharan Africa. If you're interested in partnering with us or getting involved or taking one of our classes, you can head on to www.dreammentorship.org, and we would absolutely love to have you as a member. And if you haven't subscribed already to my YouTube channel, this is it, dear friends. I want to say, hey, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that subscribe button. And of course, if you enjoyed watching this video and it was beneficial to you in any way, go ahead and click the like button as well. This helps me know that I'm actually doing something, that you want to hear what I'm talking about. So until next time, I do have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. Bye bye.